Yes, does contain nuts.
The podcast
So
that grabs life by the balls.
you were going to say something then. I looked at you, you looked at me, and we had that weird moment in time where who the fuck's going to start? Who knows?
I was going to start, then you started, but it's alright. I'll let you have it.
Sorry, man. It's all right. Anyway, what are you saying? Let's do something.
This is what we're going to do. We've got to set up in a format now. Look, right. So Phil, we are going to do the shit sandwich. Right now, I'm going to explain what the shit sandwich is. One, I love shit. Well, I don't really, but I just keep talking about shit and I say shit a lot. So
you talk about it a lot. We have a lot of conversations. You talk about shit a lot, man. A lot.
I know. But even if I say poo, like she keeps saying what poo and stuff, talking about shit like that. But even my quotes are kind of like proper philosophical quotes, and I'll add in and I'll just add in shit.
There's a guy. There's a guy. Have you seen? There's a bloke on Instagram called the Sweary Stoic.
Oh,
he basically just posts a load of stoic quotes.
I seen something and it said warning explicit or something. I clicked on it and it was like life is too fucking short. Like, and it was just fucking. Oh, it was about 10 pictures. Yeah, some of them were good, but it was just fucking in every one of them. And I was like, oh, this is just fucking
swearing for the sake of swearing.
I was like, this is just fucking shit. But so this is the shit sandwich, Phil. This is the shit sandwich. So what I'm going to do is very simply ask you for 3 things. I want to know one good thing that's happened this week, followed by one shit thing that's happened this week, followed by another good thing. So we got the bread, the burger, the meat, the juicy bit in the middle, and then the other good thing. The juicy bit's the shit bit, the fucking stupid thing. There's something's always gonna have to gone wrong, isn't it? There's always something.
Yeah. Can we just change that? So that the bread is the good bit. That's fine. But you refer to a burger, the burger on the inside, the meat is bad. No, let's call it maybe a tofu burger, right? That'd be bad, wouldn't it?
Right, a tofu burger.
Sorry, any vegans, but for me, a veggie burger is not a burger, is it? Let's be honest.
Why don't we call it the fucking the rye bread sandwich and just have a bit of a cracker sandwich, just a cracker, a piece of fucking shit, and a cracker.
Right, let's do that then. All right, let's do that. So anyway, one good thing, one bad thing, one good thing. I like that idea. All right. Okay, so one good thing that's happened to me this week. This is a good thing. This is a nice thing. I went to see one of my bestest pals at the weekend, him and his missus, and they got 2 kids, right? And
was he called Tom, was he?
Huh? What did you say?
He wasn't called Tom, was he?
No.
Inside joke. Oh, you can't even remember the inside joke yourself?
I can't even remember the inside joke.
Best friend Tom.
Who's that?
I'll tell you at the end of the podcast.
Shit, I don't even understand our own inside jokes. Oh, how bad is that? Anyway, went to see my mate, right? And they've got 2 kids. And ever since one of them was born, the boy who's 9, I was like, I'm going to take you fishing. I'm going to teach you fishing. I haven't got my own kids, so I just corrupt everyone else's kids. You know what I mean? And went up there, went fishing, and it was absolutely brilliant. Anyone who knows me, you know this. I hardly catch any fish, though. I go fishing a lot, and I catch fuck all most of the time. We went up there, we caught about 30 fish, right? 5 different species, and it was just brilliant. Do you know these days where you're like, everything's gone to plan? I look like the man. They're like, oh, Uncle. They call me Uncle Slaphead for obvious reasons. And every time I go around, they just slap me on my bald head. And Uncle Slaphead, I've caught another one. And it was good, man. Yeah, really, really good. Got maggots out, got their hands in maggots and all of that. And it was, yeah, man. So that was really good. And I'm going to follow that with a bad thing straight away, because while I was at their house, and it's ironic that we're talking about, you're talking about shit sandwiches, right? Have you ever done this? Stayed at someone's house and you think, right, okay, I need a number 2 now, right? It's always a bit embarrassing in someone else's house, isn't it? And right, I've got to go. So you turn the shower on, don't you? So no one can hear you. Do you ever do that?
Wait, no, because then they're going to be like, oh, Phil's just went to the toilet. What the fuck's he doing? I'm in a shower.
Oh no, you wait until you're ready for a shower. You know, I'm going to go have a shower now. And you kind of go and you turn the shower on, don't you? Just to make the noise, you know, so you can't hear. And then you can probably relax.
Use headband and put that on.
Yes, yeah. Anyway, did it. And it's like, I flush it. Fucking didn't flush, did it? And the water starts filling up. Do you know, have you ever done that before? And you're like, fuck, please don't come over the edge. I'm in a guest house. Please don't come over the edge. Anyway, it wouldn't go away, and the water didn't subside. I'm like, oh no, what do I do now? And I couldn't really do anything. What can you do, right? What can you
Put your
do?
hand in there.
You would have put your hand in there. I know you would have done
I
that.
stuck my head in there and
I
started.
know you would have done that. Yeah. But anyway, so that was that. And basically, I came out, and luckily we're all like best mates. And I was like, look, mate, I've blocked your toilet. It's not going anywhere. And it was full of just disgusting water, right? Picture, you know, it's horrible. And they were just like, oh God, you moron. Anyway, put this like unblocker down it, left it there for 24 hours. The next day, still hadn't cleared. They've got fucking call out a plumber and fucking get in there. And yeah, I know.
I would just hide my glove on. Got
Mate, they couldn't do it. It was all. It just wasn't. It weren't going anywhere. So yeah, there you go. But they did say, "Oh, it's fine."
Doesn't it always seem that it's other people's toilets always blocked, but your own doesn't?
Yeah, I've said to them in 38 years of being on this planet, it's that actually has never happened to me. The water's come up, but it just goes away again. Do you know what I mean? You give it a few more, and it just goes. I've never, ever, ever blocked a toilet up before. So that was that. All I can think of, was thinking to make it all right for myself in my head is that I was around their house and not imagine if I've just started seeing someone. Imagine if it was at her house. Or imagine if I came to stay at someone's house who I don't really know. Oh, mortifying. But you just have to say these things, don't you?
Just on that topic, right? That's why when you first start seeing someone, I always say this, you got to let them know who you are from the get-go. And you got to get into the nitty-gritty. So if you're like, listen, I'm a bloody bloke and I have a shit and sometimes they're big, sometimes they're smelly, you got to put up with that.
Mm.
And then if you block the toilet, you'd be like, you know when I told you I'm a baldy bloke, sometimes I shit and sometimes they're smelly. This one's just actually got stuck. So have you got anything to smash it down with?
Yeah.
You got a mashed potato fucking thing.
Mash it. But again, this goes what we were talking about in the last podcast, being honest with things. The more honest you are, the easier life becomes. And I had a chat with my dad and also a client of mine about this. And they both said, oh, when I was younger, back in the days of, courting girls and that, we'd call it setting out your stall, right? Like a market stall, whatever. And you basically lay as much of you out open for the other person to see, so that then there's nothing to hide, no skeletons. And then when you go out with your pals, you're not sitting there going, fuck, please don't tell that story about that bird in Thailand. Please don't tell that story about that time I puked and ate it and rubbed it on my, you know what I mean? Yeah. There's nothing to worry about. And then you can chill. Whereas back in the day, I was going out with people and, there was one girl like years and years and years ago who was so jealous and hated any story about my past, with other girls. And mates would talk about these stories and she would flip. She'd go mental. I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered to deal with this. But yeah.
I always talk about it, but I just like to kind of leave it where it is. Obviously, the stuff that's going to become with us in the future, I talk about all that stuff. Stupid stuff, I fly around. Yeah, man. He has a story for you. I know it's not my turn, but he has a quick story for you. So before this, we were talking about my arsehole, right? Yeah. I would have fucked arsehole. And so I would have washed
I just apologise now to anyone listening to this. If you're eating your cornflakes or your Cocoa Pops.
Most people are probably driving along listening to this or sitting at the desk.
Whatever you're doing, if it involves eating or anything where you don't want to feel particularly sick, then you might want to finish what you're doing and pause this and then watch it again.
Don't forget to resume. But I've got my butt's fucked, right? So basically, I have this condition where from the inside out, my immune system kind of attacks my butthole, and I don't know if this is what's caused it, but
please don't be too graphic.
It's there regardless, right? I've had this thing. I'm a clean freak. I like to be clean. I scrub until I'm clean, and all of my life I've scrubbed my arse until it fucking bled, right? Which isn't good. I know. I understand, but sometimes it feels nice, and sometimes it's just fucking what I got to do, right? I know I'm done then. When there's no shit and there's a little bit of blood, I know I'm done. So
that is the I've never heard anyone who would say like that. That's the benchmark. That's the benchmark, right? If it feels clean and there's blood, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah, I tell you one thing. There's a bloody nightmare if you need a second shift for the day, which I always do. 3 or 4. But anyway, because your arse is already damaged, right? So I've cut back on that, right? Scrubbing it to death until it bleeds. And I've been to the doctors and all of this stuff. I've got to put cream on. I've got to use special soap. I've got to wear the special kegs and all this stuff. Not like a nappy or anything. I've just got to wear cotton kegs. You know what I mean? Or it gets itchy as fuck and my skin just gets very damaged, right? And it's not good. It's actually a pretty serious condition when you look into it properly. And people normally get it like middle age. So I've got it now, and it causes thinning of the skin, and the cream causes thinning of the skin. And you got to really protect your arse, right? So I wash my arse. But anyhow, that's a different story. I was only with Catherine for about 2 months or something, or maybe not even 2 months, right? And I was staying at her house. And do you know when you're asleep? I was talking to you know Femi about this. He hasn't got a bad arsehole, by the way. He's just got itchy skin. And I was talking to him about it, right? And in the nighttime, it's okay when you're through the day and you're doing stuff, you don't notice an itch, do you? But when it's nighttime, if you've got an eczema or something like that, one of my clients has eczema, gets really itchy through the night, it keeps them awake and that. Same would happen with my arsehole, right? So I'd not scratch it all day. It would heal up lovely. It would be bloody beautiful, picturesque, picturesque butthole and everything, shaven, fucking beautiful. And then when it get to the nighttime, like unconsciously asleep, I'd fucking scratch. So I've been to Catherine's, been with her for about 2 months or something like that, maybe less. And I fucking get an itchy arse from the knee. So I'm scratching my fucking arse. She's like, what the hell is this cunt doing? He's got fucking rabies. He's got piles or something. Oh, I'm scratching my arse, right? But you know what I'm like? I just bloody tell her, I'm like, look, I've got a fucked arsehole, so I can't help it. But it got that bad at one point, right? Do you know winter? So this isn't.
I've heard of it, yeah.
So this isn't winter.
As in the season.
No, do you know this? I got distracted by a call on there. In the winter, you know those big, thick, woolly socks you get, slipper socks from the winter?
Yeah.
Got that bad. I had to pull them on my wrist. Wait, I didn't, because I can't put them on myself, right? Catherine put these on my wrists and like I banded them or taped them, I can't remember, onto my wrists. So I couldn't get my hands through my body to cause damage.
Hang on.
I'm sleeping like this with my hands fucking with two big fluffy slipper socks on my hands. So if it does get to the point where I scratch my butt, I don't damage it.
So what happens if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're dying for a piss?
Well, I'm kind of choosing not to. I don't really get up for a piss through the night, to be honest with you.
Don't you?
I've kind of conditioned that. I cut off my water. I get good sleep. Apart from that, I was always just up. Mate, I used to have no sleep, man. Honestly. Like,
yeah, you told me about this.
It was so bad. I was exhausted, man. And waking up scratching obviously makes you angry. Then you get even more angry. And then you're fucking hurting. And I'm like squeezing my arse together. I'm like, oh!
Jesus. Yeah.
Scraping it again. I'm like, fucking hell.
Horrible.
But I went to hospital, obviously. It was a bit embarrassing even for me. But then I eventually went to the doctor's hospital, got all this thing sorted. Found out what the condition is. Now I get prescription of creams and all this. And now it's perfectly fine. It doesn't wake us up. It doesn't get itchy.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. We can all rest easy.
Because now I know how to manage it, right?
Yeah.
So talking about setting up your stall and letting people know what the crack is from the get-go, I had my new girlfriend putting slipper socks on my hands to stop me from ripping my own arsehole apart.
That is romance right there, mate.
And keeping her awake.
That is romance right there. Talking of which...
that's why she's my fiancée now, look.
I was just gonna say fiance now. And how long ago was it? A year ago, I see that you proposed.
1 year and 2 days.
Saw that pop up on my little feed.
3 days.
Did well with that, didn't you?
1 year I did, mate.
You want to tell everyone what you did?
I went to I took her to where we went for a first date, walking around South Shields, posh, I know, walking around South Shields with the dogs, but I kind of recreated it a year on. So she couldn't remember bits, but she could remember.
Yeah, but hang on. There's more to it than walking around South Shields.
Oh, yeah.
You've got a little book created.
Yeah.
Are you going to get
walked around. We've done the walk first. Yeah. We walked the exact same walk as we did on our first date. Then we got back in the van. I said, the date's not over. She obviously twigged that we're doing the same date as our first date. Took her to another little beach just along the road. I got a book made with, I think it was 50 or 20 reasons why I love her in. And at the time, everyone was kids were hiding those books, and you find a book and you read it and you pass it on, hide it again. So I wrapped it up in cling film, hid it in the rocks, mate got a picnic, blindfolded her, took her down, set the picnic up, said, Howie, let's get a selfie. In the background, you see the book in the picture, but then she didn't see it in the picture. So she turned around, seen the book, ran out screaming, oh, found a book, way, I'm going to give it to Eva. Went to grab the book, and then she was opening it, unraveling it, and she's reading the front. She's like, it's got a picture of like cartoon characters and me and her on the front, and so many reasons why I love you. She's like looking at me, smiling and videoing her at the same time. She's like, this is from you, isn't it? And I was like, it is. I went, so come and sit down while we read it out. So she was reading through the pages, and we're just sitting on the picnic blanket at the beach, and then when it gets to the last, it tells her 50 reasons why I love her. And then when it gets to the last page, it says, second last page, it says, but more than all of those reasons, the reason why I love you the most is because of who you're about to become. And then at that point, I turn around, grab the ring out of my bag, get down on one knee, obviously turn the next page, and it says, will you marry me? She's fucking screaming like a banshee. I watched it yesterday. I got goosebumps. She's screaming. She's like, oh my God. It was fucking brilliant.
And then said no.
And then, well, and then run the corner, someone jumped off a cliff.
Oh God, yeah. Vibe kill. Jesus Christ.
So, back to you, Phil. What's your next good thing?
The next good thing. I'll think about this. I've been quite busy with work this week. This is a bit of a boring good thing, but for me, it's a really good thing. I'm running another free challenge that's starting on Monday. Everyone, I don't know, people may or may not know what I do. Me and you both do a very similar thing, right? And I've got a free challenge for everyone who wants to feel good starting on Monday. And I've been real busy with that. I've been promoting it, and I've got people in it, and it's quite. I like getting people in the group. Do you know what I mean? It's quite, for me, it's a good thing. It's like, it's a rewarding thing. It's a free week where I get to show people some of the tools that I use with the people in my normal group, my academy group, and my clients and all that kind of stuff. So for me, it's been a good week for business. So yeah, that's a bit of a boring one, I know, but for me, it's
a win though, isn't it?
It's a win, mate. It's a little win.
I know how hard you work on everything that you do, so that's fucking great.
It's nice when things start to pay off, you know. So yeah, it's all good. So that was my shit sandwich, mate.
Good sandwich. Sounds like a delightful sandwich.
It was I'll take a bite. Now you're going to tell me yours.
So the first good thing, is kind of in last week, but it's within these 7 days, so I'm going to say it anyway. I've been working on doing this camper van thing, haven't I? A few podcasts ago, I was talking about getting a big camper, or a caravan, and all this, and I've eventually just decided I have a little Bilingo van. I'm just for a little project and for convenience, I'm just going to do the back of it out. So I started doing the back of it out, got the table in, got the seats in, got the storage in, and me and Catherine decided to go try it out. So we drove to Whitby, got a nice little spot on the seafront where you open the side door, was straight onto the seafront, and we spent the weekend, one night there. I say the weekend, one night. We went down the Friday, had a little wander around, had a meal, gone back to a little pitch point where we were staying, stayed there, had a few gins and shared some wine and had some scran and what have you. And
which means food.
Which means food. And we just had a brilliant night. Woke up in the morning, fresh, right by the beach, beautiful sights. Went to Wetherspoons, had a beautiful breakfast, and then head home.
Wicked.
So, but that was amazing because for me, it's part of my vision coming true and part of what I'm working on happening.
On that note, how important? Just bringing things into a bit of a practical. Like we do this podcast so people take a few things away, right? Yeah. That they can implement. How important is it, do you think, to have this kind of vision and to know what you want to get out of life?
Really, it's the ultimate to everything, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because even if you don't do any of this personal development stuff that we do, or even if you don't do any of the tools or use the tools, the strategies, or any of that, if you have a vision and if you have something you can work towards, even if you're working towards it feeling shit, it's going to make you feel good. Like you make it, having that accomplishment, having something to work towards, having something to get out of bed for, having some dreams, man, like having some dreams to work on. And when they come true, there's no fucking better feeling, man. There's no better feeling. Even this week, I had a couple of clients, and normally I would drive home, come do some journaling and what have you. But this time I just sat in the back of my van. I didn't have to drive anywhere. I jumped in the back of my van. It was nice and warm. And I was journaling and meditating in the back of my van. And I was like, this is really brilliant. I can go
that's
anywhere
good,
I
isn't
want.
it? That is cool, mate. That is good.
And it's nowhere near done. It's like 30% done. I've still got all the electrics to go in and all of the insulation and all this stuff. But the woodwork's done and it's already serving its purpose.
Project, mate. It's a good project. It's a good
yeah.
Things like that are quality to take your mind off things, to get immersed in, because probably you go in your van, don't you? You get all your little carpeting done and the woodwork and your little fairy lights that I've seen and all that, all those little red hearts you've got dotted around and those pink handcuffs that are just on the back of the seat. But it gives you something to immerse yourself in. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Projects. Yeah, man.
And for me as well, I'm thinking like, I can use this as a practice. I can learn loads of stuff about what not to do with the camper, how not to do stuff. And then when it comes to, if I do want to upgrade, I've kind of learned a lot and I can start the project all again and enjoy the whole process again.
That's it,
with more improvements. So yeah,
nice.
So that's
good. Good. What's the middle of the sandwich?
The middle of the sandwich for me is probably yesterday, mate.
What happened yesterday?
Well, what didn't happen yesterday?
Oh, it sounds interesting.
No, it's just another boring one, to be honest. You know, when you just have one of those days where everything just seems to be challenging. So I woke up, I had a good sleep. I think I got about 87% quality and what have you. Not that I'm tracking. But I woke up feeling a bit tired, a bit groggy. I wasn't, I didn't have the energy that I would always have, which happens to us too, right?
Lots of people think it doesn't. Lots of people think people like us just jump through hoops every single day and fucking wake up and have little doves put on our dressing gowns and rabbits putting our socks on. And this is nice. Don't happen like that all the time, does it?
No, it doesn't shade. But I was just having a bit of I was feeling a bit shit. Now, what was the first thing that had gone wrong? So I've done that. Oh, the first thing was, so we're another part of my vision and things like what I'm working on and goals is getting a summer house set up in the back garden for my parents because my mum's shielding. We're not allowed in the house. So I guess if we get a big summer house, it'll be shelter for the winter. And put a heater in. I'm going to put electrics in for her. And we'll be able to have, it's got big bifold doors all across the front. So we're going to be able to have it all ventilated. We'll be able to sit in the same kind of bit, be warm enough, sheltered, and other people can kind of see her that way.
Is that for her to live in?
No, just for, they live in the house. No one's allowed in the house.
Yeah.
She's shielding quite bad. So we're allowed to be in the garden 2 meter distance and ventilated area. So if we've got this and it's just literally like, it's going to be all open plan, you know, it's got a little veranda on the front and what have you. So it means we can just pop a little table either side. This can be our table. We can have dinner there. They be on the other side, have dinner, and we'll not be like next to each other. So I've been working on that, but I went round to measure for how much pipe I needed to put the cables in for the outside. And I'm looking at the foundations that's just been done. And I'm like, that looks a bit too small. It's meant to be 12 by 12. So I've got my tape measure out and it's only 8 by 8.
What?
Only for the size of the shed.
Who put them in?
I'm not going to name them on you.
No, I didn't mean that, but you've got someone do it. It wasn't you that did it.
Yeah, we've got a business in.
Yeah.
But it's just been a case of miscommunication, I think, because first up I said, we're just going to get the shed with a base and we're going to get some path around it.
Yeah.
Same path that matches the path that we have already. Say proper slate, porcelain, slate tile things. And I got a price for it all. But then, mate, it was going to be 1,200 quid to put some paving slabs around the outside and make a little path to join. I'm like, that's a bit expensive for that. So I said, sack the paving slabs off, just do the concrete base, nice smooth concrete base. And what we'll do is we'll just paint it. 40 quid for some paint. Obviously, my parents don't want to be spending a couple of grand on for a little look. So we can paint it the same colour. Happy days. But what they thought I meant was get rid of all the external concrete too. So obviously I've phoned them up, sorted it. They've came back yesterday. They've dug the front out. So now we have the shed and the veranda around the front. So that was the first thing that gone wrong. The next thing, well, Boris, the fucking twat what he is, Boris obviously said all of this about the 6 people aren't allowed, like it's a minimum of 6 people. Now,
you do training outside, don't you? Where you do some fitness stuff.
no way. The outside stuff's alright because I do one-to-ones, so outside people's houses, gardens, what have you. But this is my group training we do in a venue, and it's fitness classes. It's still small group training, but there's more than 6 people, right? And we're in a local lockdown, so we can't do it outside. You're not allowed to integrate outside with like other people and stuff like that. And you can't do team sports outside. So I can't do it outside, but I was okay inside. And then Boris has now said indoor team sports kaput, only allowed 6 people. So that's quite a big, massive spanner in the works. It's looking as though we're actually okay though, because we're in a like not a COVID secure building, but like we're in a proper funded building. We're in a proper hall. We're not doing like 5 aside. We're keeping 2 meters distance. We have sanitizing stations. We wear masks upon entry. We've got the track and trace set up. We got all of that set up. So it's, at first though we thought that included us, and it's still in debate. It's still not clear whether that includes us or not. So I'm thinking, shit the bed, what on earth am I going to do? You know what I mean? I've got a lot of clients to work with. Like, what am I going to do? So it's just another problem that arose. So that happened. Then what happened after that? Something else happened. I can't remember what it was now. Something else happened.
Just a shit day.
I'm like, what the hell? And then I get to my group training after everybody booting off in the chat about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And two people turn up.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Where is everyone? I was just like, oh. But I finished it off with a banging call, so it was all good.
There you go. So what's the last good thing? What's the other?
The last good thing. I want to say the call, right? And we were talking about business, yeah, but like this is in promo, but inside of the Invincible group. So Invincible Mind is like we have the 7-day challenge, and then that takes you into the Invincible, where you're actually in a paid program where you're getting coached on some proper deep level. We cover some amazing topics. It's a full personal development course set up in structure, etc. And we just had a call, mate. The energy was absolutely on fire. It was amazing. The topics we covered, everybody loved. Everyone was talking about the progress that they've made. And we just had an amazing call. Like, and even this morning I woke up into the chat, and do you know when, obviously I say these people who've joined my programs, near enough broken to begin with. They've got low confidence, or they're suffering with anxiety. They're constantly overthinking. They kind of don't feel like they've got any purpose to be here, and that's how they kind of start. And now I've been working with some of these for a couple of months, and I looked in on the chat, and somebody was asking for help inside the chat on something, and everybody's chipping in, everyone's supporting everyone, and everybody's coming up with like not being funny, but the answers I would have said. but they're not saying it in this is what you've got to do. They were having this debate, and they were like, wait, this is what I think, and this is what I think, and they all had valid reasons and valid answers, and the person who commented in, she was just like, I love this. You aren't saying this is what you've got to do. We're all having a good debate, and now I've got much more clarity on what it is, and I can make my own decision on this. And it was just beautiful to see. I didn't even have to, I jumped in and give me 50 pence off at the end, but it was a beautiful sight, mate. It was
nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie, it touched me heart a little bit.
Yeah.
Because this is everything that I've dreamed of.
The thing is, as well, I want to add on to the the last good thing that I said. I've just remembered something that I forgot about. I got a voice note on a similar kind of vibe, right? I've got a voice note from a lady who's recently joined my group, right? You know, I've got a group similar to yours. She's recently joined, and she sent me a couple of voice notes, just saying how she joined. She saw my challenge a few months ago when she was in a real shit situation. Did the challenge. She's now in the paid group, and just want to say how different my life is now. And it's little things like that, like what you're saying. It touched you, right? It's the same with me. Like, you get, we don't earn millions of pounds, do we? But when you get messages like that, it's worth it. It makes everything worthwhile, and it makes me think, fuck, there's so many people out there who need who could feel like that, but
Yeah.
aren't feeling like it because they're a little bit nervous, a little bit shy, don't have the confidence or whatever to take that next step, you know.
Yeah.
And they might see the ad and think, that looks good, that would help me out, but nah, I don't think it would. You know,
Courage
nothing
is a
can
big
help
thing,
me.
like,
Courage is a massive thing, man.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a massive thing,
And
definitely.
it's scary as well because, like, the people that we deal with is often like anxious, right?
Mm,
And they're already in fear state. They're already scared. And
mm,
then when it comes to seeing a program, they're like even more scared.
yeah,
But it's kind of like it's one of those things. You're already scared. So if you can't get much more scared, you're already in a shit place. You can only get better by taking that leap. It'll be a quick little burst of, oh, I've joined the group. Ah. As
mm.
soon as it starts,
It's
like
that thing.
it's only better from then.
It's
It's
that
only
thing of,
going to get better.
yeah. It's that thing that I always say. It's like when you're on the beach. You know, when you're on the beach and you're in your little speedos and your little strangled sparrow is just poking out, and you walk down to the sea and you put your toe in, you dip your toe in, and it's like, fuck, that's cold. It's freezing cold. And you walk a bit further and you get to that bit where your balls are, and you can either turn around because you're too scared to get your balls wet, you know, they'll come out your mouth, or and you go back to your sunbed and you miss out on all the delights of the ocean, right? You can't go snorkeling, like you miss out on the Nemos and all that kind of bollocks. Or you go past that bit of fear, you get your balls wet, it's a little bit uncomfortable, but the other side of that discomfort is massive amounts of brilliantness.
Yeah.
And you see the fish and you go scuba like snorkeling and swimming and, you know, batter yourself in the waves and that. And so you've got to make that decision to either turn around and go back to your sunbed in the comfort and coziness of life and just, you know, not put yourself out there, or get a bit uncomfortable, get out there, fucking, you know, get your balls wet and go and do it. And that's where the growth and the happiness lies at the end of the day, doesn't it?
And that's the thing. Like I say, if you're already in fear, if you're already feeling shit, you can only feel better from it. And that's like not just our programs, that's anybody's programs. I'm going to assume, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
or anything. Read
how
read.
good their programs are, but like if you're struggling right now, just know if you join some sort of personal development program which is designed to help you, it can only get better.
Yeah.
That's
Or
it.
even read. Start reading. Or watch some YouTube videos or anything. You know, it's like I see behind you got a Daily Stoic, one of my favourite books.
Yeah.
Great book to read. Easy book to read. And you've got to read a page a day. And some of the things in there I think it could just be a start. You know what I mean? Bit of a kick up the arse. I think, fucking hell, yeah. I do feel different.
Even a pint of water as a start, isn't it?
Even a pint of water to start, mate. Yeah. Listening to this
podcast
is a good start.
So there's my shit sandwich.
I like it. That's a good sandwich. Yeah, I like that a lot. Very nice indeed. What happens next on the new structure of the
What happens next is we talk about the main topic. The main
topic. How long have we been here already? You're doing all right so far.
When we have a guest, we talk about the guest.
Yeah.
But we don't have a guest right now.
So we'll talk about...
wait today. So this is what we're going to talk about. I have this question. And I want to know your thoughts. How do you stay positive and focused when times are hard? Particularly, like, look at what's going on now. We've just been... I know you're not in a local lockdown, but there's a lot of places in the country around.
I think it's going to happen soon, mate.
And also there's just been that like full national increase of guidelines, shall we say. So for the listeners, how do you stay positive and focused during challenging and tough times?
When times for me get tough, and I think this is the same for anyone, I reckon people listening to this will relate to this. When times get a bit hard, then very often the things that we know make us feel good are the stuff that we just fuck off, right? And we let them go, you know? People often let exercise go, let journaling go, whatever, you know? But that's when I make sure, or try to make sure, I'm not brilliant at it all the time, but try to make sure that I sort of double down on the stuff that I know makes me feel good, right? So, like certain times, there's certain times of uncertainty. Like now, no one knows if it's going to be all lockdown. No one knows if their job is at stake or whatever. You know, it's quite uncertain times. But what I do is make sure that I control the stuff that I can control and therefore create some sort of certainty in my life, right? So I know that every morning, I know that I'll get up and do some journaling, and I'll stick to it.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I do it rather than lying in bed going, oh, life is shit at the moment. Oh, I might as well just stay in bed and eat custard creams. I'll get up and create some certainty, so I'll schedule, and I'll know that I'm going to be exercising at this point. I know that I'll be starting with some water. I know that I'll be journaling, meditating, and I make sure that I double down on those things. The other thing is that I kind of do this instinctively, I think now, but remind myself that if I don't feel particularly positive or in a resourceful state of mind, then that's all right sometimes. I think sometimes it's very easy to think, I've got to be positive, must stay positive at all costs. When sometimes it's all right to have a bit of time, as long as it doesn't drag on, but a bit of time where you're like, you know what? Fuck me, life is hard at the moment. It is tough. These new rules are hard. Maybe I've been made redundant, and allow myself just feel a little bit shit. Take time to watch a film or something, and just give myself time where I'm not trying to fight the feeling so much and accept it and let it happen. And then when I'm like, okay, yeah, now's the time to pick myself up a little bit. I think it's easy to think, right, oh, why am I shouldn't be feeling like this. I shouldn't be feeling. And we fight the feelings quite a lot, and feelings come from our subconscious brain, and our actions predominantly come from a conscious brain. And when we're trying to fight the feelings, that's conscious versus subconscious brain, right? And who the winner is in that fight. It's always how you feel wins. You know what I mean? So I think it's very important to, going back to your original question, right? What do? I double down on the stuff that I know makes me feel good, and not get sucked into drinking booze, and staying up late because I think it makes me feel good when it doesn't really long term. And I also make sure that I don't fight that feeling too much. If I'm constantly having to, I've got to train, I've got to journal, I've got to meditate, fight this fucking feeling and it'll go away. It won't go away. You can do what you can, and eventually, it will go away. I do what I can, but I also allow myself to think, you know what? Times are fucking hard right now. So I'm allowed to feel a little bit under par.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Class. I love it.
Thanks.
I think...
But that fighting the feeling, I think a lot of people do that, and they don't think it's okay to feel a bit shit.
Yeah.
And I remember
that's what you're seeing, isn't it? It's okay to feel okay. It's okay not to be okay. And it's true, it is. But like you see also, that the bit that's missing from there is it's okay for a short period of time.
So
you got to do something about it, because if it turns into chronic or not being okay, then that's not very good.
So I did a little post yesterday, and I posted yesterday just to butt in, and I said on it, it's okay not to be okay, because everyone says that, don't they? But it's not okay to live like that,
Yeah,
it's not. And people, I think it's not okay to sit back and accept the fact, right? Yeah, I'm feeling like the way I feel. Oh, it's okay to not be okay though. Okay, it's not okay because
it's kind of like acknowledge and accept, isn't it? So it's okay to acknowledge you're feeling a bit shit, but it's not okay to accept it.
Yeah. Or it's all right to accept, right, I'm feeling shit right now, but I'm going to try and do something about it, because I can change how I feel. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you get to the end of your life and you think, fuck, all I did was accept the fact that I wasn't feeling good my entire life, lived with it, lived with anxiety, no self-esteem, no confidence, and didn't do anything about it. Didn't try and pull myself out of it.
That's the thing as well. But even when I was, because I battled anxiety for like 15 years or something, right? And I always thought that was just me. I used to tell myself, I'm like, this is me. Like I'm just supposed to be anxious.
Yeah.
This is how I've been wired. Like my mom's anxious, my dad sometimes gets it, my brother he gets it. I'm like, this is just it's in my blood. Like I can't control my blood. I can't pour my blood out and get new blood. I can't get rid of my genetics. It's in me. And I used to think I'm just programmed to be anxious. So it's kind of like, Lee, put up or shut up.
I think a lot of people
it's not
think
true
that.
though. It's not true. Like obviously that was just how I felt at the time. And when it did get to the point where too much was too much, and it got to the point where I kind of said, no, do you know what? I'm going to accept responsibility. I'm going to take action. I'm going to look and research and find out if that's actually the case. And I kind of challenged my own opinions. I challenged my own thoughts and beliefs. And now I've come to realize 5 years after not having a, like, I'm sure it's about 5 years now, I've not had actual, I felt anxious, of course, but I've not actually had a panic attack where my hands are shaking, where I can't breathe, where I'm like, feel like I'm going to pass out and all of that. That's not happening. And I've been through some challenging stuff still. So if you think that it is just you and you can't get out of it, I'm here from experience and from being in your position, going to say that that's not true. Honestly, it's not true. You can. Anxiety is part of us. It's an emotion. It's an emotional thing that we feel, and we're going to feel it at times. But you can reduce the amount of times that you feel it, and you can change the emotions that you experience more often across the course of the day. And you can have times now, like in between me feeling anxious, it's weeks and months. And most of the time, even if I do have a tiny degree or feeling of anxiety, it's mainly because I've been on a session, been drinking all the time, like for a week or something, or even 2 days now. I'm getting old, but it's generally got a reason why. So know that there is things you can do. There is ways that you can there's things you can change in your lifestyle that actually stops this. Like I used to cry myself to sleep, praying on my knees to Jesus when I wasn't even religious, begging him. I had a New Testament in my hand. I was totally doolally, and I used to pray and pray for it just to stop, just to not be scared anymore. And I'd cry myself to sleep every single night. And instead of praying, if I had just been doing a bit of journaling, and instead of praying, I was just like, I don't think meditation is quite right for that point in time where I was then. No. But if I had just been dealing with some of the stuff instead of building up and chucking it on a pile inside my head.
One sec, mate. There's a massive knock on my door. Hold on, I've got interrupt this podcast. Hang on.
God himself. I'll continue anyway. But if I had just been dealing with those things, there would have been a lot better use of my time. And I know that I would have been feeling a lot better, a lot faster. So it's just know from literally the horse's mouth that I know how you're feeling because I've felt it for 15 years. I know it's very difficult. I know it's scary. I know it's not a nice place. I know you feel like you're alone. I know you feel like you can't speak to your friends, your family, and you're pushing everyone away. I know you probably segregated yourself in your bedroom or your house or whatever. But honestly, you can get through this. And I don't mean you can get through this and just put up with it and tolerate the anxiety. What I mean is there is ways and there is things you can do to actually not experience that anxiety. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to get rid of it for the rest of your life because I haven't lived the rest of my life yet. And I haven't, like, I can't say it because I haven't called it, and I'm not going to lie to you, right? But I know, what I can say is you can live at least 5 years without a panic attack doing some certain things. And that's what I've done. And I have no doubt in my head that I'm going to live for a lot longer without having panic attacks because I refuse, absolutely categorically refuse to allow myself to feel like that again. Now, if it happens again, it may happen again, but I will know that I have done everything in my power to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And I don't feel the way that I felt back then. And it's down to you. Same as it's down to me. It's down to me to look after my state. It's down to me to look after where my brain goes, where it travels. It's down to me to look after where my thought processes are, what I think about, what I focus on, what I do. And same goes for you. Like, you can keep doing what you're doing, or you can do a bit of research, join a program, wherever that may be, and just do something. Just do something different. Learn how to feel better.
Choose to do something. I think it's a choice, isn't it? Yeah. Right? I completely.
Choice. And you know that choice, like what you just said before, you get that choice every single day. Every single morning when I wake up, I have that choice. If I wanted to, no word of a lie, I could lie in bed, think of all of the worst things that have ever happened to us, give it so much attention. I could do a meditation, go back to all of the memories that I had. I can talk about it as much as I want. I can drink gin all day long and drink vodka, and I can guarantee that I can bring on a panic attack if I wanted to.
Yeah, I completely agree. There'll be a lot of people that disagree with the fact that it's a choice. Yeah. I think panic attacks,
I-
serious
well,
anxiety is a choice, is a lifestyle choice.
the reason people disagree that it's a choice is because when you're there, you feel there's no way out.
I
When you're
completely
there,
agree.
there's no other way.
Yep.
And like I said before, I felt the same. There's no way. There's nothing. Meditation won't fix me. Journaling won't fix me. Doing things I love. I don't fucking love anything, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're saying go do things I love. I don't fucking love anything right now. I hate the world. I hate you. I hate everything. But with practice, you can do it.
Mate, yeah.
There is a choice involved, and there's a choice whether you suffer in pain and keep doing what you're doing to always feel how you do, or suffer in pain and do some things to make yourself feel better. And the compound effect of that over time and time and time will eventually result in you feeling way better than you currently do.
That's the point as well, the compound effect, isn't it? Because there's nothing that you can just do. I remember back in the day, and I wasn't in the hole that you were in, but I there was a good few years, probably maybe 10 years, where wake up in the morning, stomach like a cement mixer. All of a sudden, you're like, I don't even know what I'm worrying about. Yeah. Cold sweats, you know what I mean? Had real bad social anxieties, and this, that, and the other. And it was like you're saying, you can't see how it's going to be any different. How am I ever going to be any different? How am I ever going to be able to go around to a dinner party and not sit there dripping in sweat? Because that's just, this is who I am. This is what it is. And also, and it's important to recognize that there's not, we're not saying that there's one thing that you can do and then it all goes away. You're right. There isn't one thing, but it's a series of lots of little habits and behaviors, like you're saying, a compound effect that layer up. And then eventually you're like, Jesus, I feel all right now. I can go out and I can be happy talking about myself. I'm not feeling crippled by this fucking feeling of, anxiety gripping me by the balls. You know what I mean? It's a series of little things, but because each of those little things on their own, particularly at the start, don't appear to make much difference, that's why most people just fall off the wagon and they're like, nah, it's not working. I've done a week of waking up early and meditating or whatever and drinking water and I don't feel any different, so I'll give up. But that's why it can change, and that's the message, isn't it? I think what you're saying, things can change completely. I don't experience what I experienced anymore, or very rarely. You're not in the hole that you was in, and if we can change, we're no different to anyone else listening to this or anyone out there. Do you know what I mean?
We've just done some different things.
We've just acted in a different way. Yeah, chosen to act in a different way. And I think that's the key in it. Choice.
So to rule up that question.
Yep.
Control what you can control.
Yep.
Have structure in your day.
Yep.
Do more things that are actually going to make you feel better.
Yep.
Make that choice every single morning when you get up to not feel that way that you were currently feeling. Make a choice to feel more positive, to do more positive things, to see things in a different light and look for them, and it will start to appear.
And also that choice doesn't have to be in the morning. Like you can make
it could be right now,
any fucking point in the day. It's like when people I get to Wednesday, I've had a bad week of diet, fuck it, I might as well just let the rest of the week be bad. No. You can still choose to eat different food. You can get to 4:00 in the afternoon, you're feeling rubbish, you can still choose to do something about it and pull yourself round.
It's funny, so someone messaged in my challenge today. They said, Ollie, I think I'm going to drop out the challenge because I feel like I'm so far behind. I went, how can you be so far behind? We haven't even fucking started.
Yeah.
I've only done an introduction just to show you how to use the tracker. I haven't even fucking started yet.
How funny is that? But I guess what you could argue is like a feeling.
It's a feeling though.
You feel behind. When you're not behind, you fear.
Yeah. Not actually true. He has something good, right? I watched Jonathan Ross's comedy show and I can't remember the exact words, but this woman was telling a joke, right? She was telling a joke and she's one of the new up and coming people. And she said, the bloke says to be positive or to be able to handle stressful times, all you have to do, because he was pretending, he's like, I'm rich as hell and sometimes I've got to bring myself back down to earth and I've got to stop worrying about being the richest man in the world or something stupid like that, right? And he said, all I do is I close my eyes and I state the facts of right now. And I go, I'm a man, I'm standing in my bedroom and everything's okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a joke, but that is so fucking good advice.
That is so true, though. That is so true.
Even right now, yes, the Boris thing's all happening. All of this is happening. But right now, I'm Lee. I'm
Yep.
sitting in the office and I'm doing a podcast. And
That's exactly.
that is it. And everything else we're adding to the whole thing.
Yeah. All
We're
that
adding it all to
matters
ourselves.
is right now. Power of Now. You know that Power of Now book? Eckhart Tolle. We never know how to say his name, do we? Eckhart Tolle. Brilliant. Absolutely class. I love that book. It's brilliant. And it's all about now. All that matters is right now.
Right. Let's so that's the main topic. That's the sexy main topic.
Yeah.
So the question, right? So working on this structure, right? We're gonna make it a bit more structure. I'd rather so it's less boring.
We only kind of came up with this before we just came on now.
Like 5 minutes ago.
So yeah.
It's gonna get better, right? But now, right, this is what we're gonna do now. So we're gonna end with some public questions. Some questions that have been sent in by the public to ask us. Now, specifically asked of the public will send us in any questions related to anything, and they do not have to relate to mindset. They do not have to relate to anything at all.
Yeah.
Just send us in a question.
Right.
Now, I already have 10 questions.
Well, mate, I think we should do one of them.
We're not going to ask them all, right? So I'm just going to choose the stupid questions, right? Some of them actually made us piss myself.
Right, pick the best one.
No, I'm trying to think of one with a short answer. I've got one, right? Just so people can learn a little bit more about us. And this one was actually from me queen, Miss Catherine Howe.
Oh.
Who would you love to punch in the face, and why?
The easiest answer to that right now is Homelander of that series, The Boys. Have you seen it?
No.
Because he is without saying that word, because my mum might be listening, absolute wanker. Yeah, he's an arsehole. He's one of life. Do you know in life, you get these people that think they're doing good things and actually they're just arseholes. They're just idiots. They're underhand arseholes. And I know some people like that in real life. Back in the day at school, there was one kid that I knew who I wanted to smash in the face so hard, right? I'm not going to say who it is. But and I could probably count that amount of people on one hand who I cannot stand. You know what I mean? And he was like this guy, just like, you're just a slime ball, and I cannot stand you. So yeah, after being engrossed in The Boys, Amazon Prime, it's a great series. Watch it, about superheroes. I'd punch him in the face. There you go.
Why not? Because he's a slime ball.
He's an arsehole. He's an arsehole. He's a horrible. He gives it all this public persona on TV, right? About how he's so nice, he's saving the world, he's a superhero, and he's lovely. He's like the all-American hero, whatever. But off camera and that, he is just a wanker. He's horrible. He's very slimy. So, and I've been watching it loads, and I watched one earlier, and I just think you've turned into what was a nice guy into just an arsehole. So yeah, that's who I'd punch in the face. Him.
Oh.
But he's a superhero, so he's got eyes that can burn you. So he probably would just kill me straight away. But at least I've got one in. Yeah. There you go. If you haven't seen it, that's a bit of a rubbish one. You won't be able to agree or disagree. Yeah. So, yeah. Watch it.
This is a bit of a hard question for me, to be honest. I think that the people who I want to punch in the face are generally like the kind of spur of moment things. I kind of just forget about people like that, if I'm honest. Who would I like to punch?
You have to pick one.
In the face. Now, just because this is a recent topic, I'm going to choose this person. And right or wrong, I'd still like to do it. And I would love to punch square in the face Rose West. Just because. I know it's a woman and all that shit, but we're just talking, yeah, right? To be phoning the police on, isn't that? I'd love to punch Rose West in the face.
As in Rose West and Fred West?
Yeah.
Oh
now,
God,
the reason being, I've watched 2 programs because Catherine loves to watch all of these crazy fucking killers and all this. I'm probably going to end up in the Chronicle and local paper strung up somewhere. I better watch myself with my missus. But just watching the manipulation and the pure evil that woman contains is fucking insane. Absolutely.
Yeah, mad, isn't it? Yeah.
Now, I've watched something it was about Myra Hindley and Rose West, and then last night I watched the Appropriate Adult, and it's more up to now. It's more about Fred West, and I'm gobsmacked at how he can he's talking so blasé about killing like his own daughter and all these other people and kids and stuff, and it blows my mind.
Wasn't she the worst of the two? Didn't she
That's the
orchestrate
thing.
it all?
This is
Yeah.
where it's going. So him, I'm more gobsmacked and blown away, and I feel a little bit sorry for him for something.
Yeah.
Because he's not. I don't think he's all there or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's just pure and utter raw evil.
Yeah, evil.
And she, from what I gather, he's obviously been piping one of the lasses or whatever, and she's got pregnant. They've killed her, and she's cut a baby out of her.
Jesus Christ.
Cut the fucking baby out of her, and I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah. I know.
Like, she's just pure and utter evil.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny, right? You know what's funny? Whatever this other program was, I can't remember what it was called. It was like in the prisons with Myra Hindley and her. They were having a bloody fucking getting it on in prison as well, you know. Myra Hindley and Rose West.
Right. Blimey.
They're on H Wing, which is like Hell Wing in Durham. Just next to us. And it's funny, right? This is probably why as well I've also wanted to punch her in the mouth in the face, because it's so embarrassing, right? Whenever they do these shows, they've got to put on an embarrassing Geordie, don't they? Yeah. They've got to put on an embarrassing Geordie who can't speak. I know my slang is bad, but
none of you can.
some worse than me, right? Put on this woman, right? She can't say the, so like mother, she's saying mother.
Oh yeah, like Ian Beale of EastEnders.
Mother, and she's like, it's funny, right? She's telling the story. She looks like, oh, what's that? Do you know that cartoon thing where the kid can't stop swearing? He's got the ginger hair and the goofy teeth, the glasses. Like,
Horrid Henry.
No, it's like, it used to be a video that used to be going around back in the day, and he'd start swearing and all that, and he'd be like, piss, cunt, fuck. And his parents would tell him up and all this stuff. Looked like him, right? And she comes on, she's like, I seen Rose West standing there in the canteen, and she's talking even more Geordie than me, in the canteen, and I'm a mother, and I think, how on earth could she hurt her bends? How could she hurt her own kids, her bends? So I walks up to her and I punched her square in the mouth. I knocked her out, and she's lying flat out, spark out on the floor in the canteen. And then I'm just like, oh my God. But she kind of done it. And not
there you go.
I think that the same. There's a lot more people, but I can't think of them right now.
To be honest, there's not many people who I would happily punch in the face. If someone said, all right, I'll get them for you right now.
Like, I think it's less people that rile me up. It's more traits.
Yeah.
So, like, do you know some traits, like, or attitudes that won't rile me up sometimes?
Thing is, smash someone in the face. I'm not sure how much better I'd feel.
Oh, no, you don't need to feel any better at all.
Yeah, no. Just hurt my hand.
Just Catherine's violent side coming out.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say exactly.
Let's do one more thing. One more. Just a quick one.
One more, then we'll go, because we've been here a long time, mate.
Have we?
I think so, yeah. There's no timer on these things, is there? We need to get a timer up.
I would do.
One more.
Right.
Philip's getting hungry.
Is the hokey cokey really what it's all about?
Oh.
It's one of the questions I got. I think what from Beth Welsh. Is the hokey cokey really what it's all about?
No, I don't think that's what it's all about at all, because there's more to life than doing a fucking stupid dance. There's way more. Like, you could go and eat a nice sandwich made of French bread and cheese and ham. That's more what it's all about than putting your left leg in and your right leg out. Surely. Come on, man. Have a nice cold beer on a summer's evening by the river. That's what it's all about. That's what I say.
There we go.
There we go.
It's not.
No is the answer. No, it's not. Rewrite that song.
Beautiful bombshell of a question. This has been Does Contain Nuts, the podcast that grabs life by the balls. I'm Mr. Lee Hogarth, and this beside me is the bald man, Mr. Phil Highland. You can obviously check us out on Facebook. For mine, it's Lee Hogarth Fitness, and for Phil, it is at the Phil Highland.
One.
Is that right? Right. Excellent. Thank you very much for listening. Make sure you follow this podcast. Make sure you share this podcast, and make sure you send us in a question if you want us to cover it.
Too right.
Have a great day.
Peace.